Good evening, it's 7 o'clock, and today is the Raymore Arts Commission meeting for Tuesday, this is not May 9th.
No.
I've got the wrong agenda on. Today is Tuesday, June 13, and
That's what I
yes,
thought
we
was May
have
9th
an
also.
incorrect agenda.
It's,
Is it maybe just the date?
I can,
Oh, maybe it is the date.
Yeah, because.
yeah, because there's the MOU.
Right.
It's the date.
Okay. So with that,
Congratulations.
could I call for a roll call, please?
Commissioner Martin, Commissioner Barry,
Present.
Commissioner Lawrence,
Here.
Commissioner Paris,
Present?
Commissioner Setzer.
Present.
Okay, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I don't believe we have any comments tonight from the public, so we'll proceed with the presentations, Mike.
Thank you. Well, tonight I was hoping to introduce our two new commissioners, but because the appointment of our two new commissioners was not made official until Monday, or yet last night, we knew there may be some conflicts with schedules, and so would like to introduce or would like to let you know of our two new members, Rebecca Ditchen and Lauren Jones. Rebecca will be replacing our Commissioner at Large, and Lauren Jones will be replacing our Ward 2 Commissioner positions. Both will finish out the expired terms of those two commissioners and then be reappointed, I believe, in 2018, so a year from now. So they should be joining us later as their schedules allow, but have been in contact with them. They are excited. They both did attend Summer Scene, and so they are ready to serve on the Arts Commission. One other introduction I would like to make is with our city's new communication specialist, Melissa McGee. She will be joining us for our Arts Commission's meetings and also providing additional support to the Arts Commission. Really looking forward to having her not only in the communications department, but also just here with the city. Really brings a lot of talent to what we're going to be able to do here at the Arts Commission, and I look forward to being able to work with her and having her work with all of you.
Thank you. Lauren has joined us. Lauren, why don't you come on up to the dais and take your seat. Welcome, Lauren.
Welcome, Lauren.
Thank you much. Appreciate you.
All right, moving right along, we'll do the staff reports, please.
Thank you. So tonight I wanted to start off with an update on the fiscal year 2017 Arts Commission budget. With Summer Scene out, or behind us now, it does give us, let me back up. Summer Scene, being a great event, did come in under budget, about $1,000 under budget. And so we do now have some additional money that we'll be able to allocate later in the year if there are other programmings or items that we would like to allocate that toward. On the first page of your budget, one of the things that I would also like to point out that has been updated is, since we did not have the April Family Art Day or the May Family Art Day, also did not have a June Family Art Day. And so those three items, we had budgeted $150 each. So again, that's another reallocation that we will have as a commission later in the year. As we move forward, that money can be reallocated through any programming or if there was any specific purchase that the commission would like to make. On the second page, and hopefully it's reflected on your agenda on your screen, the second page of the budget should indicate that we now have an available fund balance of about $2,600 remaining that has not been allocated into any specific program.
Mike, if I could just ask a question. At this point in time, it would appear that we will not have a Family Art Day, at least for July, possibly not for August either, given that we, since Heather left, that kind of left a void in that component, and I'm hoping that we can work on something, but I would suspect that we're not going to have those 2 months either, but perhaps the September and October Family Art Days will be something that we can leave in there. Also, the art club, I'm not sure about that yet, so it's possible that at our, and I'm hoping that we can put together some kind of strategy before our next meeting to see if we will continue, or at least, start something again in the fall. So it's potential that that money could be reallocated as well.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me what page we're on? And Lauren, did they give you the password to get onto the screen over there?
No, but I'm in.
Oh, you're in?
Oh, Mike got her.
I set up those
Okay.
Thank
that.
you.
Well, but now I'm lost. So
We're-
what page are we on?
We're on the budget, which
Yeah,
is,
I got page 12, 11, 12, 13. Is that correct?
Mike, I'm looking at my paper draft, so I don't know.
Right?
I'm looking on page 16, it's the last page of the
16,
PDF.
all right, I haven't gone far
And that's
enough.
the, well, no, that's the budget overview, but it doesn't show any,
Page number.
yeah, see the page number? The
There.
very- It's the very
Gotcha.
last one.
Got it.
But it doesn't, it just shows the total of $20,000.
Okay.
Okay.
This might be the
There
previous.
should be a second page that has, was that not included? Okay.
It was in the packet that you should have gotten via email, but it's not on this particular.
Well, I've gotten spoiled and not been printing out things. from-
Right.
Thinking that I would,
But for
Right.
some reason, it's not in this.
okay, so.
Did you have a question?
No, I just wanted to, anyway. So maybe, I'm sorry, maybe could you revise this and send that out to us again before the next meeting? Or is the one that we got in our email correct?
The one in the email is correct with
Okay,
the second
I'll just-
page.
Okay. I'll go.
But as I said, we should have a revised one before the next meeting because we need to strategize about reallocating some of these funds, so it will be changed. But it should be in your email packet.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Mike about the budget before we move on?
I'm going to attempt, if you would allow me, I'm going to share my screen that has the most updated agenda because it seems we may have loaded the incorrect agenda. And so I want to make sure that you have the most up-to-date. And so if that is okay. And see if that allowed, does that have the June 13th? Okay. And then, so I will hopefully, as part of kind of a recap of kind of what I was talking about, that second page, that my hope was that everyone would be able to see kind of shows the final overview of our budget.
All right, so do you want to continue on with the staff reports then?
Yes, thank you.
So now I'm.
So the next item for staff reports is a programming update. For the past 2 years, the Raymore Arts Commission has had a pretty extensive work plan that has mirrored its budget. What I would like to propose and what I would like for the commission to do is I have the current fiscal year 2017 work plan. It's in your packet. Would like between now and the next meeting for the commissioners to take a look at the work plan, as my hope is I'd like to bring a revised and updated version to the next meeting. This work plan would then be an outline for our work and our budget moving forward into 2018. We at the city or through the general fund are already getting ready for our budget recommendations, and we are looking at a similar budget to what was in 2017. And so I'm not expecting any major or really any decrease or any major increase in our budget, and would like to keep our work plan fairly steady to what it was this year. What I'd be looking for in the way of input from the commission is any new ideas, programming, anything that we would like to do differently or the commission would like to do differently in the next year with the allocated budget, and any updates to the work plan that we would like to see. I will bring a draft in July, and then we can have a finalized copy in August. That'll give us plenty of time then to go move forward with any of the budget recommendations we will for the city council.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Mike on that? Yeah, if you have any ideas at all, just filter them through to Mike, and you can copy me on it, but it's important that he get a draft of a new work plan put in place pretty quickly, so that we can make sure and have it ready for the budget process. Thank you. Now, Mike, I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble now. We're locked up.
No, now we're just seeing my screen, so Mike has to make.
Oh, you have to move
Right.
this?
So I
Okay.
will move us down through the,
Oh, okay. Hands-free, okay. Okay.
so next item on the agenda, summer scene update. For those of you that made it out to summer scene, hopefully you had a good time. I was really pleased with the turnout and the activities that we had available. Only had two food vendors drop out and only one artist drop out at the last second, but still I thought we had a really full day of activities. The Relax in Raymore, the pop-up art project, or the pop-up art contest, thought had a successful number of entries as well as a large number of voters, 328? 238, sorry, I transposed my numbers. Thought it was a great turnout and definitely would like to hear any feedback that the commission has. We will be sending out a survey, not only to the commissioners, but also to our vendors and artists to make sure that we get feedback from everyone who participated so we can move forward, making it an even bigger and better event.
I'd like to say, bigger is not always better. I loved the scale of it this year. We had too many food trucks last year, and the wind did play havoc with a few things.
Yeah.
But the spirit was terrific. The intergenerational interactions were great. Little disappointed in the number of chairs, but certainly the quality was there and the interest was there. And the big chair is, as always, the big hit of the day. And we spend a lot of time taking pictures of people in the big chair. And they love that. So, and hopefully we can keep redesigning it year after year and so it has a different look to it. But, I mean, I don't object to a larger scale at all, but I was really happy with the feel of it all, so.
I would agree that it seemed more family-focused this year than last year, and perhaps that's because of the hours that we had the event. I think a lot of people came after their dinner hour and enjoyed right through the end of when the band stopped playing. I think other than the big chairs being hit and the pop-up art contest, the woman who did the painting classes, both classes were filled to capacity. And I mean, there were men, women, and children painting. It was, really nice to see that. And I'd love to have her back again for some event or some class. And the bands were good. I think overall it was, aside from the wind that, tore down some artwork. But I think it was good, and I'm hoping that when you get the responses from the vendors and the exhibitors, that it's positive. So, Bob, you had a comment?
Actually, you took the words right out of my mouth about the classes. I thought that was a huge hit. I remember you talking about at least the second class you said was completely sold out. And I was wondering if you had heard anything from the person who ran that, what they thought of the event.
So Marley from Moscato Masterpieces, she was thrilled with the turnout. I mean, not just the turnout, but also the folks that came out and their enthusiasm. She was really I could tell the wind was something that she was nervous about, but at the end of the day, she came away really excited, and she and I spoke for quite a while about bringing her and the Moscato Masterpieces out to Centerview for possibly some classes either during the summer inside or sometime in the fall out on the patio. She said she really enjoyed being able to, not only get out of the studio and do some sort of kind of in a different location, but she said it was great to, instead of a large canvas, to do kind of these kind of quick 45-minute, 1-hour classes on smaller canvases where folks could kind of run wild with their own designs.
Lauren, as our new member, did you have any comments? You were only there for a short time, but your first impressions, maybe?
No, I thought it was a great event. Being out there all day last year, and then just for the short time today, you could definitely see the growth from one year to the next. So I thought it was a great event. I had a lot of people that came earlier in the day that commented back to me, whether it's through text or Facebook or something, saying, thanks for inviting me out. It was a really good time. So.
Well, big kudos to Mike. I mean, he was running around there like a crazy person, and Melissa too, and I have to say, I don't think we could have done it without you two, because it was a lot of work, and you really you did a great job, and again, I'm thinking it was really a good event. Thank you.
And as much fun as I've had for the past 2 years with Summer Scene, I do get to hand off the responsibility and the fun to Melissa, and so she'll be taking over for me the committee as well as the planning of the event for next year. So I really look forward to seeing it kind of change as she takes over and some of the new things that she'll be able to bring. One thing I do know for sure is the instrument petting zoo. If you did not get a chance to see some of the if I say folks, some of the kids as they were playing, incredibly popular. And so it was something that I think we're going to need to keep on our radar for any other event in the future.
Anything else for Summer Scene? Okay, thanks, Mike. Are there any other staff reports that you need to?
No other staff reports tonight. Next up was just the committee update from the Public Art Committee.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead with that, or?
Really, the only items for discussion this evening were the Parks and Recreation and Arts Commission MOU that will be before the commission. The other item for discussion was really coming up with some new ideas for the gallery spaces that we have here at City Hall, as well as the new gallery space that we have at Centerview. With that building opening on Friday, we will have an additional space to display artwork. Very similar art hanging system with the wires and the movable hooks, where we can kind of create a customizable space depending on what piece of artwork we have or what artist we have in that area. Would really like both Public Art Committee and the Art Commission to give some thought to who we might be able to reach out to fill those spaces, as well as what kind of artwork or artists we would like to start approaching. We have received no other applications for the current gallery space, and so want to come up with some new ideas for how we might be able to fill both those spaces and see if we can't put some creativity behind whether it's different marketing, different promotion, or maybe changing and tweaking the program as we move forward.
Yeah, I've talked to a few people about, the exhibit space, so it's just a matter of really having a conversation with, there's so many local artists that are out there. I mean, I don't see any reason why we can't keep it local for a while. Perhaps we will have to go out beyond Cass County, but I'm hoping just word of mouth and just trying to get people maybe, at the open house to have more enthusiasm about it, but thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, Bob?
Just got a quick question about available space at Centerview as compared to what we have here. Would you say it's about the same or a little bigger?
I'm trying to remember how I measured it out. It was about 12 feet of track, and so probably about half of what we have on the far back wall available, and about the same height and ability to hang artwork and kind of customize what we want to create there. And so,
But it's all one wall, it's not.
right, all one wall, and it's, as you walk in, and you'll see after kind of the meeting as we walk over there, it's right in that front entryway. And so very prominently displayed, very, very nice location. As well as Parks has already begun discussing expanding on the back side, so there's another hallway to, as you go into the second half, essentially, of the large Harrelson Hall, the large hall, and they're discussing putting another similar art hanging gallery track that would allow for an expanded gallery space. So we would be essentially looking at a third gallery space that we would be able to program.
Have we asked any of the schools or art teachers to try to get student exhibits?
That was one of the topics discussed at the Public Art Committee tonight, was looking at artists who are in current high school as well as younger. And it was interesting because as part of our discussion tonight, there is a recent graduate, just graduated from Ray-Pec High School from the AP Art program, who was interested in doing something. And I told her I'd get her connected with the Arts Commission, that I'd encourage her to apply. And she sent samples of her work. And really, it was kind of interesting just to have a conversation about, she had no idea we had this gallery space, that maybe there are some outreach efforts that we could undertake, whether in person or with the teachers there, that to offer that opportunity to those students.
I will just mention that I have contacted all the art teachers, both on the primary, secondary levels, and did offer the exhibit space for teachers only. Now, I did that right at the end of school, and I know they were all swamped. So they have gotten notification about it, and I'm hoping after school starts, I'll go over and meet with them personally to talk about it. But I'd love to have 1 month where it's just teachers showing their artwork, and showcasing the fact that we have a great staff of art teachers in the Ray-Pec district. So.
I know this is part of the Public Art Committee, so I don't want to step on toes, but I would love for us to consider having some sort of student competition and a small scholarship stipend, and really engage students in a way to show art and get the word out. So, because there are, really talented artists, the younger side. So.
Well, we do, one final comment on that. Yeah, there is actually the student art competition in the fall, which is co-sponsored by the commission and the Tri-County Art League. It's, this year, typically the Art League will run that, but because I think we're gonna use Centerview this year, I think it can be expanded somewhat. So I think that's a good opportunity to really get more involved with the student art competition. Okay, if there's no more committee updates, we'll move on to our consent agenda. Tonight we have minutes from the April 2017 meeting and the May 2017 meeting. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from April 2017?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, before we go on, I do have one correction on the minutes of the April 17. Under section 6, staff reports, it looks like there's just an unfinished sentence there, so I don't know whether it should be removed or just finished. I'm not sure, but it's just a grammatical thing. So, are there any other corrections or additions to the minutes? Okay, all those in favor of approving the minutes from April 17, raise your hand. Okay, that's unanimous approval, thank you. On to the May minutes, if you all read them. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from May 17, 2000?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Are there any additions or corrections to the May minutes? Anybody? Okay, all those in favor of approving the May minutes, please raise your hand. Okay, that's a unanimous vote, thank you. All right, now on to the approval of the maintenance agreement. Our new business, which is approval of the MOU between the Arts Commission and Parks and Recreation Board. And Mike, could you just give a very brief review of that
Absolutely. So I've given you control back of your computers as the MOU is attached in that agenda, and you should, and that is the most updated copy further down in your agenda. The MOU between the Park Board and the Arts Commission outlines the duties and responsibilities between the city and the Parks and Recreation Department when it comes to placing public art in the parks here in Raymore. Already the Arts Commission as well as the Parks Board have approved a number of locations throughout the city, various parks, that are ready for public art as it comes through the Public Art Committee. What this MOU formalizes is as the Arts Commission moves forward and purchases those pieces of art or solicits call for artists for art in those locations that have been pre-approved, it just delineates the responsibilities by the Arts Commission as the purchaser and then the Park Board as the organization that will maintain the area around it and ensure that it is in good, it's clean, it's not vandalized or damaged. And the process also allows for the Arts Commission to own the process by which we will make the call for artists as well as select and vet the artwork that will be placed in those locations. Another addition that I believe was also important was as new parks come online, such as the expansion of TB Hanna, Hawk Ridge Park, and any others, new trails as well, the Arts Commission will have a voice or a seat at the table in helping to identify locations for other pieces of art. The Park Board at the end of the day will have final approval on locations with the input from the Arts Commission, and at the other, the other half of that coin is that the Arts Commission will have final say on the pieces of art that will go in that location with the input from the Parks Board. So it's a nice partnership moving forward, and I think does a good job of outlining what we're responsible for and the process of how we can work with the Parks Department to ensure more public art in our community.
Mike, I do just want to add one thing, that the commissioners do understand that we are the advising board to the city council. So we advise on the pieces that we'd like to buy or have on loan or whatever, but it truly is the council that approves the piece that is purchased or on loan. But we are truly the advising role there, so it's something that we'll vet and have the city approve before it, goes under the MOU, so.
And following approval tonight, the city council will take this up at their next full meeting. And so this will go for 2 reads before the city council as well. And so if you would like to attend those meetings or provide any input at those meetings, they would be welcome as well.
May I have a motion to approve the MOU between the Arts Commission and the Parks and Recreation Board?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, that's a unanimous vote to approve the MOU between the Arts Commission and Parks and Recreation Board. Thank you. Our second new business approval tonight is the funding of the Centerview ribbon cutting grand opening. We had talked about setting aside or reserving about $1,000 to do something at the Centerview ribbon cutting this coming Friday. And Mike, if you just give them a brief synopsis of what we've done with that $1,000.
Sure. What we're looking for tonight is approval of the work plan item. The commission had already set aside money, and we were looking to provide an artistic element or kind of an entertainment element at the Centerview grand opening on Friday between 3 and 6 p.m. We have contracted with a quartet out of the Lee Summit Symphony to provide kind of a musical entertainment throughout the event. Really just looking for the approval that it is okay for the Arts Commission to give the okay to sponsoring that entertainment and move forward with that.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve the funding for the Centerview ribbon cutting?
Can I ask a question? Is it a classical quartet and?
The description that I had been given from the director of the Lee Summit Symphony was they do everything from classical to AC/DC to contemporary rock. And so I'm quite impressed and anxious to see how a string, the trio of strings and a flautist will be be providing that music. And so certainly, and kind of the direction that I have given is that we are looking for more of a classical kind of, the building itself, as you will see, very modern, very elegant, and I think it would be nice to have music that kind of fit with that, something that was a little more elegant, upscale. And so we'll be looking to see if they'll be able to provide entertainment in that vein.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve this funding, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of the funding for this, please raise your hand. Okay, that's unanimous vote, and that motion has carried. And I believe those are all the items that we have for approval tonight.
They are. Just as a reminder, we will be giving a short tour of Centerview once the meeting here adjourns, and so I look forward to anyone joining us just across the street to see the new building.
And before we adjourn, in lieu of the commissioner comments, I think we'll take the tour, if you all don't mind, because I think it's important for those who can't make it on Friday to see this center. I'd like to ask our new commissioner to step forward. She just arrived, so this is Rebecca. You go by Rebecca or Becky?
I go by Becky.
Becky, and pronounce your last name for me?
Digit.
Digit.
Rhymes with kitchen.
Okay. Welcome, and so we're going to get ready to go on the tour. Are there any other items for the agenda tonight?
You know, if the two new commissioners would just give us a 3-minute bio, so then we'll know what else to ask you.
Okay.
Okay?
Like she said, my name is Rebecca Ditchin. I do go by Becky. I've lived in Raymore since I was 2. Raising 3 children in Raymore now. We own a home over in Brookside. My husband's a firefighter. I have a theater music background. My husband is a professional musician. We are very happy in our community, and we are both very excited the changes that are coming, and I'm really quite honored to help maybe push some of those forward, because I do really love this community quite a bit. My parents live here, so I do love Raymore.
Thank you, Becky. Lauren?
Yes, thank you. Thank all of you guys. Lauren Jones, been a resident of Raymore for 11 years now. My background is in performing arts. So happy to be here, very excited to join the team and add value.
Great. Thank you both. And with that, may I have a motion to adjourn this formal meeting so that we can go on the tour?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor of adjournment, please raise your hand. Okay, that's unanimous, and we are thereby adjourned for this meeting tonight. Thank you.